All right, everyone. Welcome to our online business bridge training series. As a reminder, the Flint and Genesee Business Bridge is an online directory of minority-owned small businesses in Genesee County. Listing your business on the Business Bridge helps connect you with other minority-owned businesses in the area, as well as a larger local organizations and community members who are seeking to do business with minority-owned businesses. The Business Bridge also allows you to bid on non-government contracts and engage with other businesses through networking events and trainings through programs and offerings just like this. Our team aims to be a continued resource for small businesses here in our local community, and we're very excited to be launching this on-demand content for you to access at any time. It also gives us the opportunity to partner with local subject matter experts who are eager to share their knowledge and promote small business success in Genesee County. So with us today, we have Erika Davis of Teach Me How to Bank to share more on Business Banking 101. But before we get started, Erika, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this line of work.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And I would like to, first of all, thank you for having me be the person to present this important information. Just a little bit about myself. I am born and raised right here in the city of Flint. I graduated from University of Michigan Flint with a bachelor's degree in organizational communications. But by the time I graduated college, I was already employed at Citizens Bank. If anybody can remember, Citizens Bank used to be the big bank downtown with the weather ball on top, which is now Huntington Bank. And I started my career there when I was 22. So I was a college student and just happened to need a job. They approached me about becoming a part-time teller. I thought it sounded cool. So I got into the business of banking, and it became a career for me because I realized that there was a lot of things that I needed to learn. And then also it became more so that I was the person, the go-to for people in my community that also wondered a lot about banking, or, had questions or were apprehensive about, really getting into banking. So I did that for about 15 years before I stepped out on faith and decided to go with something that had been on my heart, which was to teach people in my community about banking. I was always so good at helping people after they had a problem or after their bank account was already closed. So it became an idea of mine and a passion of mine to be able to help people before they got into these issues, and to also help people that come from where I come from to understand that we belong in these spaces. We are business owners. We have desires to become homeowners. We need loans. We're buying vehicles and doing all these things. But when it comes to being in the banking space, we're not there. You can check the facts. As minorities, we're not getting as many of those loans. We're not even opening up bank accounts when it comes to the statistics of other ethnic groups. So that is why I began Teach Me How to Bank. And today, what I'm going to talk about is the importance of getting into business banking. And that's just because I come from a long line of people that I know, people that are actually running businesses, but for some reason are scared to go in financial institutions and open up a business bank account, or they didn't even have a clue that they qualified to open up a business bank account. So I put together this presentation that I'll share with you guys today. It's Business Banking 101. It's just the most general, most needed facts to take you from your hobby or your small business. Maybe you're managing money at home or wherever. And this is going to move you into that next step of actually doing your business in an institution where my thoughts are it's the start of a relationship, and things can only grow for you and for your business from there. So I'm going to share with you some things today that'll hopefully make you comfortable enough to take that leap, if you have not already, into the world of business banking.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm going to pull up your slides in just a second here, but we did do this session in person a few weeks ago and had a great response to it. So very excited to get this information out there with everyone. What we learned and heard from that session and some of our other sessions is like, this is so personal to people, this banking and financial. And like Erika said, we're here to help set you up for success so that when you do need a loan, you can go in and get it. And Erika's going to share some of that great information with us today. So Erika, I'm going to go ahead and pull up your slides. You just let me know when you want me to advance on the back end, and I'll take care of you from here.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's get into it. Business Banking 101. So, first of all, I always like to talk about why. Why should I do this, right? Because I'm not employed by any institution anymore. I'm doing this on my own. So I never wanted people to think that I'm just trying to push you to open up a business account or a bank account because it benefits me in some way. It really is. There really are reasons why getting into business banking is beneficial, and if you are not, why you should be. For one, you're earning money. And if you're putting it into one account, you have no way of knowing what money is your personal money and what money is your business money. You may have a job, a 9 to 5 that you work, but you have your business on the side. If you are keeping those funds all in the same account, you have no way of knowing what you truly earned from your business and what amount of that money is your personal. So having a business bank account gives you a way to separate those funds so you can clearly see what you are earning for your business, and you're able to track things. So not only are you going to be able to determine how much money do you bring in, like your business income, by having a separate business bank account, but you can also track things like your business expenses. So maybe you're shopping and you're buying supplies and you're doing certain things to help your business run smoothly day to day. If you have this separate business account, you will be able to track those expenses a whole lot easier than if you, for one, don't have an account at all, or if you are using your personal checking account to also run your business. And then finally, you want to be able to be prepared if you are wanting to move into the next step of applying for business credit cards and applying for loans, or even asking someone to invest in your business. It's going to be a lot smoother and easier process if you have a separate business bank account, because that will produce monthly statements for just your business purposes. It will produce monthly fees and debits so you can see exactly what you're paying out. And all those things makes it a lot easier when it comes down to you having to have what they call business financials, which will be a requirement no matter where you go if you want to get into borrowing money or getting business loans and things of that sort. So it's super important to get into business banking. Even if you think like, I'm not doing that much business, I'll just do a little bit on the side. If you are doing business regularly and you have a good or a service that you're putting out there and you're providing that regularly, then you definitely want to open up a business bank account. So hopefully by the end of this, not only will you see the why, but I'll help you understand the how. Okay, next slide. So where do you start with this? You may already be doing business. You may be, some people have a hobby that has turned into a business. So you may be showing up at, like where they all have, everyone comes together and you're selling stuff in groups. So if you have not already done that, you want to register your business. Even if you think, oh no, this is just my hobby, I just make jewelry, but you're showing up and you're going to shows and you're selling that stuff regularly. Maybe you're doing hair or something of that sort. Oh, I'm just doing it from home. It's not that big of a deal. No, you are a business. So you want to register that business. You can choose, most startups, you'll want to choose either between registering as a DBA, which just stands for doing business as. So that allows you to set up a business and separate it from yourself. So maybe you're selling your jewelry. So you can be like, I'm Erika Davis, and you can be Erika Davis doing business as beautiful jewelry. And that allows you to then have that separate entity. So then you can move on into having a bank account. Or you can choose an LLC. I usually say if you are really into sales and things of that nature, and you feel that there could be a reason that you want to separate your business that you're doing legally from your own personal assets, then you definitely want to register as an LLC, which we'll talk more about how to do that. And then once you have that business registration, you'll want to obtain an EIN. That's an employee identification number, and that is free. So we'll talk more about, or I'll even be able to share, hopefully, a document that has the links where you go directly on the websites to do these things. The DBA or LLC, you'll register through your own county in your state. The EIN, you can go right online once you've registered that business name and obtain your EIN, which is typically just like basically a social security number for your business. So it separates. You may be using your own personal social security number, but once you're getting into you have an LLC, you'll want to get that EIN because it gives your business its own identification number. And then something that's super important when you are registering your documents, when you're registering that DBA or you're online registering your LLC yourself, please be thorough and make sure that your spelling, if you have any punctuation in your business name, make sure everything is the exact same way on each document because these are going to become your business identification pieces. Just like your ID works for you personally, your organization, your articles of organization, which you get from registering as an LLC, or your DBA certificate, along with the EIN, those things act as identifications for your business. So it's important that you spell it the exact same way. For one, sometimes just a little bit of misspelling could end up being someone else's business, right? Someone could have a very similar business name, or when you go and use those documents, if one document has your business registered a certain way and that word or one word is missing from your articles or your EIN letter, it's going to look as if that's not the same business. And that will cause a discrepancy and it will not allow you to be able to open up a business account. So be thorough and check that spelling and make sure that everything is spelled the exact same way. Next slide. So you may be thinking, she just said a DBA or an LLC. I don't know which one. I don't know what to pick. So this is just a little slide I put together just to kind of give a quick comparison of both and to hopefully help you to decide, which one should I do this business under. I actually have Teach Me How to Bank as an LLC, but I do have another business that started off strictly as a hobby that I did with just family. It wasn't any big deal. I wasn't selling a lot of things. I was just simply collecting money to organize a trip for people. That one I registered as a DBA because all I needed to do was separate the money. I was bringing in money as people were paying for themselves. And I found that trying it out in my personal account was a big mess. For one, once people wanted to back out or someone asked for a refund, or it came time for me to pay all the money to the company where we were going, it felt like a big wad of money coming out of my personal account. And I didn't like that. So it wasn't a big deal for that business because I was just collecting money. It's not like I was having ongoing sales or anything. So I didn't feel like it was a legal matter or wouldn't come down to a legal matter. So I registered that one as a DBA. That one allowed me to then take that separate name as it's registered through the county and open up a business bank account. And you're also still able to get a business debit card. So those types of businesses, maybe it's just something that you do is family oriented or, not a lot of sales, just some way that but you still need to separate funds. You'll probably want to stick to a DBA. It's just a way of giving you a unique name. So when you're collecting money, you don't have to say, pay it to Erika Davis. You can say, pay it to whatever you're doing business as. And then the fee for filing that in Genesee County is $10 to $20. And then, as I stated, I will try and share the document with you guys as far as the exact address where you need to go and all of that. And then as far as comparing that to an LLC gives you that liability protection. That's in the name. Limited liability is what the L stand for. And that is just basically separating you legally from that business. So if someone were to go and want to sue your business for whatever reason, when you are presented with that, if there are any judgments against you or anything, your personal assets are protected. So it's not like they'll be able to take you for everything that you have. With LLCs, similar names are not allowed legally. So that's why I say the first thing you'll want to do is go on the state of Michigan website, check for the business name that you plan to do business under, and make sure that it is available. And you want to do that before you go and get an EIN and all that, obviously, because if that name isn't available, now you got some thinking to do about what you want to do or what you want your business name to be. The fee for that is $50 for first time, and then you are required to do an annual filing every year, which basically just says, yes, I am still doing business under this name. You pay a $25 annual filing fee, and then that just keeps the business in good standing. And don't ignore that, because as a banker, I have seen where business accounts, like let's say you go and choose to open a second business account, and we're going to recheck all of your business standings. And if you have not filed your annual fee, then that can come back as a red flag to your whatever institution you do business with, and they can freeze the account until they see that your business is actually in good standing. And the only way to keep that in good standing through your state where you are registered is by paying that fee and doing your annual filing. And they do give you quite some time to do that each year. So it's a big deal, but it's not, it's not like do it within these weeks. They'll notify you way ahead of time and give you time to do it, and you can pay online. Next slide, please. So we've decided about our business name. I mean, you may have already been doing business. You've gone through the steps. You're going to go through the state of Michigan or the county, whether you're registering it as a DBA or LLC. And now what you've done, once you've registered as an LLC, is going to automatically create what are known as articles of organization. And that is the part that you'll want to keep either saved in a file or print it, because now that articles of organization and the EIN letter, the letter that says this is your number, this is your business, those two things are your business identification documents. So now that you've done that, you've done your homework, you've done your background work, you are ready to get into business banking. So I don't just say, just because you have a personal account somewhere, go there. I actually encourage people to research different institutions. What works for you personally may not work best for your business. One thing that I usually tell people that are just starting in business, or your business doesn't do that much sales, look for institutions that have fee-free business bank accounts, meaning they won't require you to keep any certain amount of money in there, and they won't charge you just a flat monthly fee just for giving you an account. Now, that's not to say you won't still be subjected to things like ATM fees, overdraft fees, and things of that nature, because those are miscellaneous. But I'm talking about accounts that charge you like $10 or $20 per month if you don't keep $1,000 in there. There are institutions that have accounts that are based or geared towards new and small businesses. So you want to find more community-based checking accounts and things of that nature. So do your research, because this is your money. This is your business. This is where you're going to start a relationship. So, look around, see what's best for you, and that's how you'll decide where you want to go. Where are they located? That could be important depending on how you do your business. Maybe you are a traveling business owner. You'll want to be sure that whatever institution you choose also has locations where you'll be doing business. If that's something, you may need to be able to go in and get change. Maybe you go travel and you sell things, and you need to be able to have change to provide when people are paying with cash. You'll want your institution to be around for things like that. So see where their locations are. And as I mentioned, what are the minimum balance requirements? That's a big one. Some people just go in, and the banker might tell you about this account with all these bells and whistles. And usually the accounts that give you more things also require that you keep more money in them. So you'll want to know, how much money do I have to keep in this account so your institution does not charge me? But you'll be surprised. I've had some people that were startup businesses, and they went in places and allowed themselves to be put in premier accounts and didn't realize they weren't doing $1,000 a month in business revenue, and now they're paying $10 to $20 per month just to have a business bank account. And I'm telling you, teach me how to bank is teaching you that that's not necessary. There are different accounts that even if you're just getting into business banking, they won't charge you and they won't require that you keep a minimum balance in there because they understand you are just getting started out. Cash and transaction limits accounts do come with those. So if you are a cash heavy business, maybe you're taking in a lot of cash through sales and things of that nature, then you'll want to know how your bank account deals with that. Some institutions do have fees if they are having to count excessive amounts of cash. So I know it sounds crazy because you think it's a bank, that's what they do, but no, in this day and age where a lot of things are being done electronically, we're paying with debit cards, we're doing pay to pay services like Zelle or Cash App. If you bring in a lot of cash to a place, odds are, if it's a lot, I'm talking like tens of thousands, then there could be fees associated with that money being counted and put in your bank accounts. Usually not a lot, but I'm here to talk about avoiding all fees because, we're in business to make money, not pay money. So just be aware of that. And then all the other things like ATMs. Do they have a lot of ATM locations? Are you someone that needs to be able to access your money in your business account? Things like that matter because if you are not where near any of your institution's ATMs, you could end up paying ATM fees. And take it from an experienced banker, I have seen ATM fees add up very excessively to the tune of $100 or more a month. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to pay $100 or more in a month just because I've been racking up ATM fees, which basically is saying I don't mind paying to get my money. And if it can be avoided, then Teach Me How to Bank is here to say avoid it. And then another thing that you'll want to be aware of is what payment options does that business bank account have? It's huge now. Everyone's saying, Cash App me or Venmo me and things like that. A lot of banks have these things built in. So you'll want to ask them, do you have any payment options like Zelle? Is that something that, already comes with your account? Because now it's a free service. And if you use Cash App or things of that nature, you know that when you go to hit cash out, there's usually a fee associated with that. So if it's built in with your business bank account, then you're usually avoiding all those fees. So that's something that you'll want to know. And then merchant services. If you are in sales, it is in your best interest to be able to accept credit cards. And that's what merchant services are, being able to accept debit and credit cards. And this is something that I always recommend finding out through your business bank account if they have that service, because there are standalone companies. Square is the one that comes to mind most often, but there are standalone companies that will give you a credit card machine that you can receive credit card payments through from your customers, but they always come with fees. So research that. Ask your bank, what are your merchant services fees? Even if it's not something that you're interested in immediately, at least be in the know. So once you're ready to take that step, if your best option is to go through your bank or if it's to go through a third party like Square and just sign up that way. But always be aware of the fees that come along with it. Be prepared. Okay, next slide, please. So you've done your research, you've looked at the different accounts at different institutions, figured out, okay, I think this one might be the best fit for my business. Now you're ready to go in and open up that account. I want you to feel comfortable and confident and prepared. For one, you've done your homework, you've gotten your documents in order, everything's spelled correctly, everything's in your hands, ready to go. Now you want to go in. You're going to take that articles of organization, which again, remember, once you go online and register as an LLC, it automatically creates articles of organization for you. So don't be intimidated by those words, articles of organization. Some people, if you are willing to pay and it gets that complicated, I usually say if there are multiple owners of the LLC, then that's when your articles of organization may need to be a bit more involved because you'll want to actually state who's responsible for what. But if you're a sole owned business, meaning you're the only owner, you're the only one that answers to, you answer to you, then articles that you create off of the state website is just fine for you to continue using until whenever. So you're going to go in with those articles of organization that you printed and your EIN letter that you printed. You are required to also use your personal ID. So don't forget your personal ID. So a lot of people think that's not connected. I don't know why. It's still you. You're the signer of your account. So make sure that ID is valid. Don't go in there with an expired ID saying, teach me how to bank, told you that would be okay. That's not true. So then you'll go in with those things. You want to make sure your address is the same as what's on your business documents. If it is not, then you may have to produce just one other document with that business name and address on there. But that's something that you'll want to discuss with that banker. And then there's something that they're going to ask you to fill out no matter where you go. It's called a certificate of beneficial ownership form. All that is, it's telling the government who is the rightful owner of your business. Anyone that owns at least 25% or more of the business will need to be listed on this form. Now, they don't have to be a signer on the bank account. So just because you're an owner of the business, maybe you're horrible with money, maybe, it's just not your thing, that's not your part. You don't need to be on that. So if you're an owner, you will go on that form, but that does not automatically put that person on the business account as a signer. This is just strictly a document that the government created so that they will know who are the rightful owners behind these businesses. Of course, it's because of financial crimes and things that we're not even going to get into because we're doing legit business over here, which is why filling out the certificate of beneficial ownership is not going to be a problem for you. I've had people that were like, why do I have to do this? Why do they need my information? Because you are going to put your own social security number on there, your personal address. But as I always tell people, if you're on the up and up, your business is legit, legal, why would you have any problem with sharing the information as the owner of that business? It doesn't make sense. So don't hesitate. Don't think they're asking you to do something that they don't ask of everyone. Fill out that certificate of beneficial ownership form. One person has to sign it just to basically attest to the accuracy of the information, but that is going to be a requirement no matter where you go. And they'll also have you sign like a signature card for anyone that wants to be an actual signer on the business account. So these are two separate things. And so some other things that I want you to know when you go in for this business bank account is be honest about the characteristics of your business, right? They're going to ask you questions about your business, which only is to help the banker decide, for one, the most appropriate type of account to put you in, which you've done your research at this point, like I told you to do. So you already know what type of account is going to be best for you. But, go along with the banker and until they get to that point, and you have every right to state what account you want if they don't recommend the same one that you expected. But you want to be honest about what your earnings are, the number of employees that you have. This is not the time to go in there and, you know, make it grow or lie and pretend that you have some bigger business than what you have. It's okay. You're a small business. I'm a small business. We're just getting started. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But the point of being honest is because they have other products and services that may assist you in your business endeavors. So, the best way to get the most appropriate recommendations and the most appropriate other characteristics and things like that is to be honest. So let them know exactly what, if you're just starting off, if you haven't done anything, it's okay. They can't say you can't have a business bank account. So be honest. And then don't feel obligated. Don't feel obligated to sign up for products or services that are not beneficial for you. You may go in there and get all wrapped up in the conversation with a banker. You're feeling good. You're feeling all proud of yourself. You're in business banking now. And you're like, yeah, I need that loan. Well, no, you don't need a loan right now. That's not what you went in there for. Don't get wrapped up in the conversation and in the business so much where you go in and you're just signing up for anything or any service, even if it's something maybe you're not that knowledgeable about. Now you know people in your network like Teach Me How to Bank, this wonderful digital library that's being created. So do some research before you just go signing up for things. For one, if you're not familiar with the product or service, or for two, if it's just not for you, don't ever let anyone make you feel pressure into signing up for something that you didn't even step in there for. Don't do it. If anything, to them, let me think about that. Just give me the information and I'll let you know. I'll get back with you. But don't feel obligated. Next slide, please. Okay, so now you've gone in You want gone in with all your right stuff, all your business documents, your ID, filled out all your forms because you knew they were coming because I told you so. You have your account now. Congratulations. You are in business banking. But the responsibility does not stop there. This is the start of a relationship because just as you plan for your business to grow, you plan for the relationship to grow as well. So you want to understand some things. This is like, getting to know you phase. You've researched, so you knew a little bit about it, enough that you wanted to go in and start your account there. Now you have that account. What's next? So I always talk to people about the fee schedules for their account type. That's something that they have to give you. So when you open that such and such checking account, in your packet that they give you, and they should also go over it, but I'm not crazy. I know every banker is not that thorough. I'm experienced enough to know. So it's going to be in there though. You sit down and you go over that fee schedule so that you know ahead of time how much will I be charged for doing this thing. Things that come to mind: withdrawing money from an ATM that's not your institution's ATM. Like for instance, if you bank with Chase or if you bank with Huntington and you go and use an Elga ATM, most likely, for sure, take it from me, your institution is going to charge you a fee for using that ATM, along with that institution charging you a fee. So it's certain things that you'll want to understand. How am I going to be charged? And then there are certain accounts that they'll let you go and use that ATM 15, 20 times. You won't see the fee because their fees come out at one time during the month. So your account fees may charge on the 15th of every month. You didn't realize that. So you were just swiping at the ATM because in your mind it's free. You didn't see the fee. Well, now they've added all those up and hit you on one day with all the fees accumulated. And you didn't even know that was coming because you didn't even bother to look at your fee schedule. So the purpose of things like me, people like me, and businesses like mine, I'm here to tell you, be aware of not only what fees you'll be charged, but when you will be charged. I cannot tell you how many people would be surprised when they would get one debit on a particular day of the month and it says like miscellaneous account fees. And they're like, what is this? I didn't do this. I didn't spend that. I didn't charge that amount. And then I'd have to go and okay, here is your monthly statement. You visited an ATM this many times, you used this much cash handling, they added that all up. This is the total. So it's tough to deliver that kind of news to someone because now you just found out you just paid a chunk of money that you didn't think you were paying. So do your homework once you've opened that account and realize not only what you will be paying for, but when that institution charges you for it. Depending on your business, you may have more than one account. That's something else that I talk to people about. You don't have to have all of your business money in one account either. I've talked to you about separating it from your personal, but now you may be, let's say you open up a restaurant or something of that sort, or maybe you grew like wildflowers in your first year of business and you have 3 employees now. So now you're responsible for more things like payroll. So it could be that you want to have one business checking account that's just for your payroll and the other that's for your operating day-to-day expenses. So don't be afraid to ask for more than one business bank account. And then there's always ways like online where you can label those accounts. This one's my payroll account, this one's my operating account. And then another thing is there are business savings accounts. Maybe you want to save something that you want to purchase for your business, or unexpected emergencies might arise for your business and you want to have a cushion. So there are business savings accounts that you can open as well. And they act just like your personal account, only this is your business money that you're saving. So don't hesitate to open up more than one business bank account, especially if you're into things like payroll or you want to be responsible and save your money throughout the year to pay your taxes. Nothing's going to help you better than having separate accounts for those things. So you can have more than one account under your business name. And then also, if you want to accept payments in your business name, something that you want to know, if someone writes you a check, they need to make that check out to your business name. If you are an LLC, then that business check needs to state my business LLC, whatever that business name is. It doesn't even have to have the LLC on the check, but they have to write the business name. Like, for example, I'm Teach Me How to Bank LLC, but I can take a check that's just Teach Me How to Bank. The LLC won't make a difference, but I cannot take a check that says Teach You How to Bank. That's not my business. Your bank account, you can't deposit that in your bank account. You can try, but they'll notice it. It may even take a few days and they're going to charge that back because it's going to say business name does not match. So in that event, if it's just an error, you're going to have to get a new check, and there'll be all these things that you have to go through. So the best thing is to just make sure when someone's writing out those checks, you see it before you even deposit it into your account, that business name is made the same. Now, if it is a DBA, and your business is registered Erika Davis doing business as this business, then they can put either your name or the business account. So it just depends on how your business is registered. But anyone writing you checks must be written to the business name. You cannot deposit a check made out to you personally in your business account. Again, it goes back to that whole rule of keeping business and personal funds separate. So those are things I want you to be aware of now that you are in business banking. Next slide, please. So you're in there, you've done your research or you've done your homework. I mean, you know what you're paying, you're getting used to your account, putting in your business check, your business checks made out to your name, all those things. It doesn't just stop there. You want to be a person that is known at your institution. You chose this place because you're planning to grow with them. So something I tell people is see your banker regularly. If you have to make a deposit, I know there are ways to keep you around going into institutions these days, but I say go in and visit that banker regularly. The person that opened the account or the tellers that work around the person that opened your account. Because what I know from being an insider is that there will be like certain account features or certain things that the banks roll out that only the people that work there know about, and it is their responsibility to tell the people that they see. So by you going in there regularly, for one, you're becoming familiar with the people that are handling your money. And I don't know who wouldn't want to be familiar with the people that are handling their money. So you want to be in the know. And then for two, when you come in, they're like, oh, you know what? We just rolled out this program where we're offering, maybe they're offering beginning lines of credit to people that have small businesses, or we're offering so much free in business products if you have this type of account. If you are someone that makes your presence known in the bank regularly and you see these people that are working with you for your business, then you'd be surprised the things that you find out or the help that you receive only because you're someone that they see regularly. If you're not, it's kind of like you're not there, kind of out of sight, out of mind per se. Yes, they will get a list of their business customers, and there will be campaigns where certain times the bank may say, okay, call all these people on this list. But take it from me, an insider, whether there's a list or not, if you are someone that's regularly in there and they see your face, then you will be the first to sit down in that chair and find out about that product or that service. And something that comes to mind, the big thing is the PPP loans and things that happened while we were going through COVID and our pandemic. The people that were able to get the loans, the applications filled out the earliest were the people who already had relationships with their institution, and the people that had the phone number of their banker to call up. Hey, banker, yeah, it's me from Teach Me How to Bank. Hi, I know you guys are doing this. And, so you're more familiar. They'll tell you about things faster. Believe me, you'll want to know your bankers. Review your monthly statements. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how important that is. You are not only reviewing your monthly statements for, just to have an idea of where your money went, but there could be things that you didn't even authorize that came out of the account, especially if you're not looking at your transactions day to day. And so you'll want to make sure that you paid the right amount for things that you authorized to pay, because sometimes mistakes happen. And the earlier you catch these things, the easier it is to get help with fixing them. You don't have to deal with someone charging you an amount that you did not authorize, or someone taking money that you don't even know. That's just straight up fraud. So reviewing that monthly statement allows you to check those transactions earliest, and realize when you need to go and make certain claims at your bank in order to get those things fixed. And then also your monthly statements are where you're going to see what fees did you pay. Now, you are aware of the fees because you did your research like I told you to do, but maybe you're paying more in fees and you didn't even realize it, or you paid a monthly fee for your checking account because you didn't think you would get below a balance. All these things you want to be in the know of, because if you're getting charged excessive fees and things of that nature, you want to see your banker about that. For one, they could possibly change your account type, or let's say it just was a one-off thing, this just happened to you this month, they can forgive some of those fees. Take it from me. And a lot of times it's not that they're not going to call you up and say, hey, you got that fee. Let us waive it for you as a courtesy. But if you go in, hey, I didn't realize I was going to have that fee for that thing, or maybe you overdrew the account, it was an error, something happened, you got some sort of fee, go in and talk to your banker. Sometimes they have the authority to go ahead and give you courtesy refunds, or if it was an error, they definitely can go ahead and refund the money to your account. So the only way to know those things is if you are reviewing that monthly statement. So that is a part of your business now. Reviewing that monthly statement, because you need to know where your money went and make sure that the right amounts are going where you tell them to go. And then there are fraud protection options. We are in a fraud day and age. I get emails and things from bulletins through all types of consumer alerts and all things where fraud is rampant, guys. I know it's a deterrent from banking, but as I always tell people, you're going to make this money regardless. So whether you think avoiding it by not keeping your money in the bank is the safest thing, take it from me, that is not. You can have money stolen from your home. You can have money that goes up in a fire. Let's say you lose where you do your business and it goes up in flames and your money wasn't somewhere where it was, protected from that. So fraud and things can happen even if you are not banking. But let me tell you that you're most protected if fraud happens to you through a bank or a financial institution. So don't let fraud be a deterrent from you banking, whether it's personally or for your business. You're more protected from bad things that will occur by having your money in these institutions. And they have things that can protect your business bank account from fraud. There's things like check positive pay and things that I won't dive deep into, but there's ways. If you are writing a lot of checks, you can say, okay, hey, these are the only checks I've written. So any check that come in outside of those check numbers, decline it because they're frauding me. So it's all sorts of things that the institutions have come up with to protect you from it even happening. And then after the fact, if it does happen to you, there are affidavits you can file. There's all sorts of things that you can do to get your money back way faster if you are doing business banking than if you are not. So don't let that deter you. Next slide, please. And so, with us talking about fraud, it's a big thing. I know that's with me doing this and me doing my research. That's a big thing that people tell me about all the time. And I'm not crazy. I know it happens. I've had fraud happen to me, but I can tell you from people that have had their money taken not through a bank account, I got my money back faster by having fraud happen through my bank account than they did from having someone steal their money that was under their mattress somewhere. So don't let it deter you. Enroll in account alerts. These are things you can do to protect yourself from that fraud. There are alerts that will say, hey, if you have money taken out of your account over a certain amount or something of that sort, they'll send you a text message or an email or both that says alert, X amount of money was withdrawn from your business account. That right there alone, okay, yeah, I knew I had a bill out for that amount. Or what? I didn't authorize anybody to take $500. So now you know to go and check that out. And if need be, take the necessary precautions with your bank. And as your business volume increases, you want to discuss the other protection options with your banker. I mentioned one of those things, which was like the check, the positive pay for checks and things of that nature. There are so many tools that these institutions have implemented that will protect your business account from being taken over by fraud. So it's definitely something that you'll want to be aware of. And as your business grows, as the volume increases, meaning you're depositing more checks, you're getting away more cash, it's a lot more transactions showing up each month. You'll definitely want to discuss those options with your banker, because you'll be surprised. A lot of these services are not that expensive. And for your peace of mind, as your money starts rolling in, you'll want to take advantage of that, just so you can do your business and let that be one less thing that you worry about on the day-to-day basis. And then be aware of a potential fraud through sources that you may not even be realizing, like emails and fraudulent checks. I mention these because, as an experienced banker, I worked in business banking during my last few years as a bank employee, and I saw some pretty scary things happen just from business owners replying to an email. Like, for instance, there was a business owner, he replied to an email. There was an invoice. It looked legit. It appeared to be from a business that he was familiar with, but he wasn't the regular person that paid his invoices. He was just trying to help out, paid an invoice, and it just so happened that someone hacked into their company's emails, made a copy of an invoice that they saw they had paid previously, sent that invoice only with different payment information. That company paid it and realized their money went to a totally wrong place. They only realized that when the actual company called and said, "Hey, you didn't pay that invoice." And they said, "Yes, I did." And that's when they realized they paid it from a bogus invoice because someone hacked their emails. So I'm telling you this stuff to be aware of how all these things are connected. We're so into the electronic age, and we're always on the go, and things can be rushed. Don't be so fast or so mindless that you're into doing your business and accepting emails and paying things from things without having checks and balances in place. And then there's fraudulent checks. Like, I don't have to, we all know fraudulent checks, they go around. You'll have people that want to do business with you, and they may say, "Do you want to, could you accept my personal check?" If it's not someone you're familiar with, not someone that you've done business with, or you know their reputation, maybe you don't want them to pay you through that check, or you can accept the check, but you'll want to contact their institution and just let them know that you received this check and you're just trying to verify the validity of it. And the institution will have to do that for you. So, those are just a few ways of protecting yourself from fraud and just being a little bit more aware that fraud happens sometimes in ways that we don't even expect it to occur. And so, it's my thing to tell you. Next slide, please. And so you are into business banking now. I want you to think about this as a relationship, because we're not getting in this just as a little one off thing. We're getting into this because we want our businesses to grow. We want to be organized. We want to show up like the thorough, well prepared business people that we are. So, having this banking relationship to grow with you as your business grows is going to be the best thing that you can do for yourself. You're already reviewing your statements monthly. Maybe, you're doing a lot more business than you planned on it. So you are keeping more money, you're doing more things, and this account is just not working for you anymore. You can always go in, have an account review, and get an account type changed without changing all of your account information. So all it will do is change your features, change the fee schedule, but it'll keep the same routing and account number, so you can continue doing business seamlessly, but maybe paying less fees as your business has different earnings and different needs. Now you want to learn about credit products. A lot of people come to me, "How can I get a business loan?" Well, do you have a business bank account? Oh, no. Well, a lot of institutions, they want you to start there. They want to see first, how do you manage your cash flow? What type of expenses are you getting in? What are you paying out? And how much money are you carrying month to month, day to day in that account? All those things end up creating financial information that they can go from if you already have an account. You want to be able to utilize treasury products. These are different add-on services as your business grows. I mentioned a few of them, things like accepting debit and credit cards. There are so many. If you have employees, you're going to be responsible for payroll. And that's a big deal. Your institution has services where they can make your payroll happen and you don't even have to think about it. So those are different services and products that as your business starts to become bigger, already having that banking relationship will help you because you have a go-to person like say, "Hey, I got to pay these people. I want to make sure I'm doing it on the up and up. What services do you have that I can add to my account or get a separate account that would allow me to do this the easiest way?" And again, you're visiting these branches regularly. You want to get to know not only the manager that opened your account, but the tellers as well. They're the people that are accepting checks on your behalf. They're counting your money. They're the people that when you need to go in and get change for $100 bill, they're going to be the ones, "Hey, I know you. Hey, here you go." Not looking at you shady because you don't bank here. Why do you want to come in and break down a bill? Oh, believe me, it all makes a difference if we know you or not. So think of you starting a business banking account as you starting a business banking relationship. As your business grows, like we know it will, because you are sprinkling and watering and doing all the things to help it grow, then you'll want to be able to have that business banking relationship that's able to grow with it. So you don't have to get up, you don't want to wait until you're making millions of dollars and then say, "Oh, I got to figure out about my business banking." Oh, no, you would have watched this tutorial through Teach Me How to Bank, and you'll already know that you're already there and you have a place that you can go to and they're ready to grow. They're excited to see your business grow. So, this is a relationship you're starting here. It is not just a one off thing. And again, if it doesn't work for you, just like any other relationship, you can always go elsewhere. They don't own you or your business. That's another wonderful thing. So don't ever hesitate to think that if you don't like the service you're getting or the services that they have to offer, or maybe you did a little bit more research and you see something at a different institution, this is a place that you're going to want to plan to stay with. So it has to be the best fit for you. If where you are is not, don't hesitate to go elsewhere. But do think of this as a place where you want to start a relationship and you want it to grow. Don't be in the habit of, "Okay, no, I want to go here because I didn't like how they said hi to me that day." Don't be that petty, because you want to think of this as a relationship. Some things you may have to work out, just like with any other relationship. Doesn't mean you quit it, but you do want it to be able to grow. Next slide. And that pretty much concludes it. That's all my business banking 101 tips. I really hope you understood everything and got a chance to think about how that relationship should start off and where you want it to go from there. So, any questions?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. A couple of the things that I took away is how incredibly important this topic is because it can set you up for financial success in so many other ways. So, some of the
Yes.
things that you mentioned briefly were, like when you're approaching financing options and looking at the overall operations of your business and employees, which is another huge spend and something that you need to be organized for, but it all starts with getting your affairs in order and having that initial conversation. So I think that
Yes.
the information you provided here today definitely is going to help people have the confidence to have that initial conversation and really go in as a force to be reckoned with and ready to
Yes.
build those relationships and make
Yes.
themselves
That's
known at
that's
their
what it's all about.
institutions. The other thing I really took away is that as business owners, we have this sense of responsibility to do your own homework. If fees are going to be taken out, it's easy to say, like, "Oh my gosh, why are they taking money from me?" But all of that information is out there if you know where to look for it. So
Yes.
do your homework, find that information, and go in prepared, which I think that you definitely helped with. A couple of questions that I wanted to ask, just so that our general audience had some things to think about, because I think of a lot of what we're talking about today is kind of like dispelling myths of the stories we make up in our own head about what it means to do business banking or what we need in order to be in these spaces. So, can you tell us how long do I need to be in business to create a business banking account?
I I think as soon as you start your business, as soon as you make that first sale or even sign that first contract to make a sale, or if you have a product that you're offering, as soon as you sign up to go to that first craft show, then you need to create a business bank account. I always tell people, even with their personal affairs, don't wait until you're rolling in the dough to then start a bank account, whether that's personal or business. Because what it allows you to do if you go in it right from the start is it allows you to understand things. And then not only it grows as you grow. So you do not, that's why I tell people if you're starting off, there are institutions that have like community based bank accounts where they understand you're starting a business. They won't require you to keep any money in that account. And a lot of places will open it without you even having an initial deposit to put in it because they understand that you're just starting and you just need somewhere that as soon as you get that first dollar, you have a place to put it. So you do not, as soon as you create that LLC and get that EIN and you sign up for that first show or do that first contract, then you need to have that business bank account. And that's why you're going to have one that does not have a minimum balance requirement. So even if, let's say, you get that first show and then you don't do another one for another month or so, that's okay. Your bank account won't be charged any fees or anything like that. But now you already have that as your foundation as you just start to grow your business. So I say right from the start, as soon as you know you have even $1 to put in there, go ahead and get that account started.
Yeah, and you don't know until you ask. So if you're curious, reach out, have that conversation,
Yes.
and then you'll know. So one of the things that you talked about very heavily up front was getting prepared, making sure you had your affairs in order, making sure that you were registered as a legitimate business. Can you get a business loan without an LLC?
You without an LLC, yes, but you do have to be registered as a because there are other ways you can be registered as a business.
Mm-hmm.
So without an LLC altogether or some type of business registration, no. Your business is going to have to be registered as an entity because
Mm-hmm.
they're giving you a business loan. They will sometimes include your personal credit, but they're giving you that business loan based on the fact that you're saying you need it to conduct business for this entity. So it has to be registered as an entity
Gotcha.
somewhere for you to be able to go ahead and go forth and do, get a business loan. You will definitely, because they are going to want to see those documents as well. And that's when things like also being in good standing, like I mentioned, that you also want to make sure you're doing your annual filings. That's when things like that will start to come out. Maybe you forgot to do your annual filing, but you went and applied for a business loan. They're going to do their due diligence and underwriting, their risk people, they will check, okay, is this business even legal? And they will be able to see on their website that, okay, this business was registered in 2020, but is not in good standing because they want to know, well, why aren't you even in good standing through your state? That already is a red flag or a deterrent. So you absolutely have to be registered in order to get a business loan.
And I want to make a note while we're here too about grant programs, which I know is not what we're talking about today, but a lot of this information is so helpful to set yourself up for success in applying for grants as well
Yes.
if you are an eligible business. So, our organization, we oversee a few business grant programs. And while that's not money you would have to pay back like you would a loan, sometimes they're still going to ask for financial
Yes.
documentation. Like
Yes,
you were
they
saying, they
will.
want to see how you're spending your money, how your business has been successful. The institutions who are giving this money want to know you're going to be a good steward of their funds as well. So while
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
not money you would have to pay back like a loan, this information and setting yourself up as a registered business, being in good standing, having good, financial history is going to be very important when it
Yes.
comes to those types of
Yes. I've
situations
had
as
it.
well.
Yes, I've had that the case, just for me, even being employed, I've seen it time and time again where people are like, well, I want to apply for this. And I'm like, well, you don't have financials or, and they're like, well, no, well, then what do we have to go on?
Yeah.
How do we know? Like you said, even if it is for grant money, we need to be able to see that you've for one been earning some funds and been spending wisely. Your monthly statements are going to be the best thing for that. And then also something else that already being in business banking will help. A lot of institutions have like QuickBooks and Quicken already as a built-in third-party service. So you can create, different financial reports and things like that just by linking your bank account to those programs, it saves a ton of time, saves some people money from, paying an accountant and things like that. So you'd be surprised as having that bank account data can make transitioning into
Mhm.
things like getting your grants or, proving just how good financially you are. It will make the process so much simpler. Even filing taxes. Like
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
had
yeah.
people that want to file business taxes, but they just opened up their business account a month ago, but they're saying they've been in business for 2 years. And it's like,
Mhm.
we can't help you prove that. Yes,
Yeah.
it says you registered an LLC, but what did you do with your money for the first, you know, 13 months of business? Just because that
Mhm.
1 month is not an accurate depiction of how responsible you've been, or even with your expenses. Maybe you're saying, I need to get money to buy this thing. Well, we don't know what kind of expenses you've really been paying if you're just telling me that from,
Right.
your memory. So
Yeah.
many reasons why having that bank account information can really help you move, to those next steps in doing business.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Great. Well, thank you so much, Erika, for sharing all of this
Thank
information
you for
today.
having
Maybe
me.
you're not to that point of banking and you really just have that idea that you need to incubate and get started and get registered and all of that. We're here to help. So, the Flint Genesee Economic Alliance Small Business Team is a great resource for you. You can learn more at our website, developflintandgenesee.org/small business help desk. That'll let you schedule some time directly with them to get in and get started. But if you're already there and you're ready to get your business bank account going, and maybe you just need a little more guidance or you have some questions on the information that we reviewed today before you head into your institution, feel free to contact Erika at iteachbanking@gmail.com. Thanks again, Erika, for being with us.
Thank
And
you.
the documents that you referred to, we'll find a way to link
Okay.
in with this video so that our attendees can access that information as well.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.